Good day. I hope you are well and rested. If you are an artist or a creative and you've got to that point where you feel creatively stuck, where you have maybe got to the end of the road in terms of what you can imagine and how you're using your vision and your special powers, if you're literally just staring at a blank space and not really knowing or wondering where to go next, perhaps you're even at a state of artistic despair, or any one of those memes, there will be one of many things happening to you. But I want to share an idea with you today, which came to me this morning listening to a rather kind of cliched motivational speech by somebody quite famous who I won't name. But there was a kind of message in there which I think relates very well to the creative spirits and maybe useful to us artists and creatives. And that is that perhaps when we get to that point when we're stuck, that it might actually be the point to decide what we really, really want. And the reason I go here is because creativity is a weird and wild and wonderful thing. And while it does give us the ability to envision and to imagine and to look into spaces that other people can't peer into, sometimes we have to stop before we get into that creative space and decide where it is that we actually want to go, rather than trusting our creative spirits to actually take us there. We can look into our subconscious and use our kind of daily instincts and intuition, the creative stuff, the creative spirits, to already decide where we want to go. We won't all want to go to the same place. We all will have different visions, different ideas of the place that we are subconsciously or consciously trying to get to. But if we're not focused on that, and if we're not committed or zeroed in to that, then we can start to feel a little bit lost, a little bit indecisive, a little bit like we don't know if we should go here and we don't know if we should go there. So in that creative process, in that creative moment where we might be in a state of flow, whether we are an artist staring at a canvas or a creative staring at a bunch of blank pixels, or a singer-songwriter, or whatever we are, unless we're committed somewhere deep inside us about where it is that we're actually trying to go, then that state of indecision can leave us also in a state of creative paralysis. And so in that space, we may be just frozen. We may not be able to go anywhere. And so if we get to that point where we feel stuck, it might not be because the creative magic actually hasn't happened, because we're just sort of feeling uninspired or we're not feeling motivated. It might just be because we haven't fully committed and decided to the place that we're actually trying to get to. And just to take this thought a step further, if you're still with me, and to take it a little bit deeper, down onto a deeper level, there is, as I go on about a lot of misleading ideals and ideas around us. There's a lot of cultural constructs which we're inadvertently dragged along with. And for an example, a lot of artists feel like their work ought to belong in the art world, that it ought to be hanging in galleries, and that they ought to be a celebrated, famous, even perhaps wealthy artist. And that's all fine, but these are all other people's cultural constructs. And it may just be that deep down, what we need to do is to look into ourselves and think about what it is that we, as individuals, as unique creatives, as the ones with the imagination, what is it that we would really like to do? Where is it that we would go to? Where could we decide to go to if there were no barriers? And of course, we can envision anything. We can see anything. And as long as we can see it, we can kind of head in that direction if we want to. So I guess just to wrap, the moral of this story is that without decision, without focus, and without commitment to a place that we want to go to, we're always going to be lost. We're always going to be in that state of indecision and paralysis. And that's not going to be helpful for our work or our health or our story or our journey. So I hope this helps. Please comment below if you're feeling some of this, if you've got to that point and it never occurred to you that a decision actually had to be made. I'd love to hear the story. So comment, like, and subscribe. This is all about building the community. And jump over to Instagram and Substack and feel free to chime in there as well. Okay, have a great day.